Alright folks, and welcome back to the channel. We're back today after a long absence, to be honest with you. I've just been trying to take a break after finishing college, but we're back, and we're back today just to catch up over everything that's happened. Today with Celtic, we've got some new signings to talk about, and we've got also our transfer news to talk about, and we've also got a new kit to speak about as well. To go through all it, I'm joined by Alistair. How you doing, Alistair?
How we doing, Josh? Okay.
Aye, good man.
Aye.
Aye, good.
Just before we start, I'd like to pass on condolences to John Clark and his family,
Aye, no.
and just put thoughts and prayers with the family and
Aye,
le-
definitely.
legends and stuff. So,
Aye,
and
but well, obviously, he was part of
no,
that team. Well, we may as well talk about it then, because you brought it up. Obviously, he was part of that team. Obviously, passing away. Was it start of the week? Last week, I think he passed away. Um,
it was announced. It was announced this week, I believe. So
aye, but obviously part of that Lesbian Lions team, so he's a
he
legend in his
works
own
in
right.
water, yeah. And the
Aye,
service he actually gave the club, I believe it was 3 months fewer than Wally Mealy, who was manager for 50 years.
aye. So he's gave an outstanding service to the club on and off the pitch. Really good ambassador for Celtic as well. So obviously it was a shame. It's always a shame when the lesbian Lions pass away because of the status in Celtic's history. Celtic's greatest ever team. They'll probably will stay at
Well,
until
well,
Celtic cease to exist.
well, see, to be honest, mate, they're untouchable.
Oh, definitely. So it's just, as I'm saying, it's just unfortunate when stuff like obviously that happens because of how big their stature is within Celtic. But you could see outpouring around football how well thought of he was. I think even just in the wider context of Scottish football as well for his
Yeah,
service to Celtic and obviously what he done on the pitch.
Catman, assistant manager as well as a player, so
Aye,
you have to say R.I.P. Clarky and
aye.
thoughts and prayers be your family, pal.
Definitely. No, I think it was important to get that in there. We would have probably covered it. As to the first, we may as well start with the big news today that we finally got the deal over the line for Benjamin Nygren from Northland. Joins in a 5-year deal.
Yeah,
Which are thoughts on this signing?
excited, Josh. I think to be honest, if you can score what was it, 14, 15 goals, and
Aye, aye,
and you have and let's be honest, Northland aren't the best team in Denmark. And I think it says a lot that Copenhagen wanted them, Anderlecht wanted them, so it's a bit of a catch to get the guy. And I believe he's got 3 Sweden caps and 2 goals already. So,
aye.
so
He scored 15 goals last season.
yeah,
Sorry,
I knew
16
it was
scored
near
one in the
that.
cup as well. So 16 goals last season for North Zealand. And I think about 35, 36 appearances.
I think
Um,
he'll be more of a number 10 myself, Josh.
I think,
But
I think that's the one thing. I generally don't. You're hearing so many things about. He was. I was looking on Twitter and there was. There was people back in Sweden who were saying, "Oh, you've got a really good player," and people were asking them, and they were saying probably more up front or maybe somebody linked with the striker. And I think if you look at some of his comments we've heard from the the media coverage that we can't get access to because it's behind a paywall. Cough cough Celtic TV. It's which I will not pay for.
I won't
It,
either.
it was it was talking about how he likes to be that link between the defence and the attacking line. So I don't know the way he was talking. It seemed to me like a number 10. But then I've seen other people saying he can play up front and play out wide. So I don't know. It's obviously he's a
It's
young.
good. It's good to have a
Aye,
flexible player, but I would like him to nail down a preferred position. But
aye.
it's always good because a long season, guys that are flexible are worth their weight in gold.
Oh, definitely. I think at the club will nail a position down. Brendan Rodgers will. Hasn't he just brought this guy in because he can play maybe 4 or 5 positions? Brendan
I'm
Rodgers
kind
got.
of hoping he fills a Matt O'Reilly, Tom Rogic kind of hole. Um,
Aye.
Atari's been good, but we can't expect Atari to carry all the creative load.
Aye. Well, we'll just go over the thing that he said on the website. Just spoke about obviously he's not on there 15 goals last season. He's already scored 2 goals in his 4 appearances for Sweden. And then Brendan Rodgers had a bit to say about him as well, saying we're delighted to have brought Benjamin to Celtic and we look forward to working with him. He's an exciting quality player who had attacking options in our squad. And to be honest, I'd agree with that. It's attacking options I think we need because I thought at times last year attacking options were a bit blunt.
I
Um,
don't, and also I'm sure we'll get on to it, but I don't think we're finished in
no,
attacking
we can't be.
certain.
No, there's still, especially we'll go on to players maybe potentially getting out the door as well. So, Brendan also spoke about he was a young player, plenty of experience at Clubwell with impressive performances last season. Um, and then I think Nygren basically says, I'm a player who wants to create a lot of chances and go towards goal. I'm a link between the defence and offence. That's what I spoke about there. I can run a lot, and I am an offensive-minded player, but also do my best to work hard in all parts of the game. I'm a very competitive person, and this is something I love about Celtic. It's a huge club. I love that. Oh, and also the winning mentality. I want to be similar-minded with similar-minded people who love to win. I had my breakthrough when I was young, so even though I'm 23, I've played over 200 games and have a lot of experience. That's what I bring. I mean, I don't look too much into thing because it's just your run of the mill stuff.
It's
But
just
there is,
word now.
but there is a few things that I did like the sound of. Thing about being trying to help out the defence. Being quick as well. He seems to have, and that is. I don't want to hang me like, but that was what some big issue with Nicholas Kuhn was last year. We didn't think he was doing that anywhere near enough. He wasn't doing it, to be honest. Um, so I'm hoping that we have if it is the winger or the number 10 where he can go back out and help defence, that'll be valuable for us in Europe as well. So
I
I'm
just
always
hope you can. I just hope um, it wouldn't be the one niggling doubt I've got. You never really know how to adjust to the club until they play.
aye.
So,
No,
so
I know. But the one big plus for me, and this is what my expectations have been in the window. It's a player who's young, but he's also got so much a European, a bit of not a pedigree, but he's got European experience. He's been playing, and I think it's vital. And I know we've been speaking a lot, me and Alistair personally, we've been speaking a lot about strikers and whatever else, and people are saying, oh, maybe we go and maybe get Evan Ferguson or something. I think it's vital that we get a striker or any player that we get in a position who has been playing, and who's coming off good seasons, and Nygren for me fits that mould. Come off a really good season with Northern, go to Sweden caps. So we're getting him at a really good time as well, and I think that's what Celtic need. If you want to make that stay
getting
in
a
Europe,
player that's rated.
you're getting a player that's rated. I'm not expecting Celtic to go and sign the top players in Europe. I bet there's also there's players, in these like Sweden, Norway, players like that where they're rated and they've got, Nygren has got a bit of pedigree behind him, I think, especially with the Sweden stuff. He's played really well. He's got a bit, European pedigree as well. So I think that's just what Celtic need. You need players. What I'm saying, you need players who are in form coming into the club.
Well
We
done.
need to get away with trying to. If we want to progress in Europe, right, and there is exceptions. That's like Kieran Tierney and Jota. There's an exception to that, but we need to get away from the whole we come in and try and build somebody's career back up. No, that's not how you're going to progress in Europe, unfortunately. You need players who are needing, maybe not the top players in Europe, but need that next step. Celtic are that next step for them. But they've done well at their previous club to get that next step.
Yeah, definitely. And see, at the end of the day, Scandinavia, whether it be Norway, Finland, Sweden, or Denmark, we need to. They produce good players.
Oh,
We
definitely.
should be thinking it all the time. Because let's be honest. I mean, I know it's a cliche, but Scandinavians on the whole, they get it because it's a similar type of football. That's what's
Aye.
exciting me about this. And I mean, obviously the proof will be in the pudding, but 23 low risk. I think to
And
be
that's another
honest,
thing. It's the fee. It's the fee. The fee is a low risk fee. If Nygren was on a 5-year contract, we'd need to pay £6-7 million to get him.
yeah, at least, yeah, and that's what I was going to say. But that's what Celtic need to do.
Exactly.
Find players that are running down their contract you can get at a reasonable level, and I guarantee you, he will at least he'll score goals because if you score goals in the Danish Superliga, you'll score goals here.
And I've seen some of his goals and his play. It's some really good stuff, man. Which seems to be promising. Obviously, Alistair, he goes alongside Kieran Tierney and Ross Doohan. Probably he's our first main signing of the window, to be honest. I
Yeah,
don't know that.
that's window, but I must say, Tierney and Nygren, more of the same, please.
No disrespect to Ross Doohan, but and Kieran Tierney was confirmed in January, so I see it as a first kind of main signing. It needs to be more on the way, because I think
Yeah,
there's
I
a lot
think
to what a
I
lot of
think
work.
at least need another 4 more.
Aye. Of quality as
Of
well.
the
I think
level, aye. The
Um,
level.
in terms of outgoing, Alistair, over the last few weeks, Nicholas Kuhn is getting a lot of attention.
I think he
RB
was at
Leipzig,
training today.
aye, RB Leipzig and Como seem to be interested in him.
Let's be honest, he's got to Leipzig.
I don't know. I
He
think, but
goes
the one thing I will say,
to the German thing.
the one thing I will say, I think we're both agreed on it. I don't like this narrative that people are just wishing him away.
No, I
I,
wouldn't be wishing him away, Josh. But I will caveat that by saying I would rather, if he'd put a gun to my head, I would rather he went than the
Oh
guy
no,
on the other side, to
no,
be fair.
of course not. No, that's a completely different thing there. But I just Celtic, there've been rumours of bids for £15 million. Way off it for me. It needs to be at least 20 before we start speaking.
Yeah, I think it will be.
And I think that's what Celtic are trying to do. I think they're looking at Leipzig and going, "No, you have got a lot of money. Like, cough up. You've
And
seen what you could do."
you're going to let a lot, a load, a load of players go, and you're only giving us 15. No
Hmm.
thanks. But
No,
what we don't know, it's clear to me that Kuhn wants to move.
no, and that's
It's
fine.
clear,
Aye.
clear. The-
Um,
When it gets to that stage, you just need to get the best deal for the club.
Well, we seen that during the COVID season where we kept players and that it worked horribly for us. To be honest, they couldn't be asked. Um, so but I think what's important, no matter if Kuhn wants to go or not, the club's the most important in getting the right fee, and that's the one thing I do trust the club. They seem to be able to get good fees for players
And
going out the way. So
you might
um,
get a buy on for so you
aye.
never know. So.
No, I just think Nicholas Kuhn should not be leaving Celtic Football Club for any less than £20 million.
Starting price of 20, I would
I
say.
he's had a dip, in the 6 months, but his numbers are still there, and that's what clubs look at. They look at numbers.
Yeah.
They look at numbers. They're not going to look at, oh well, he played. He didn't play very well against Dundee, did he? No, they're going to look at, right, how many
You
goals he
don't
scored.
even those type of games. No disrespect to Dundee. I know you were using them as an example, but that doesn't even register with Leipzig. They're coming in for him because of what he did against them.
Aye, no, I know exactly, and that's what I'd be saying. If that was Lawwell and Nicholas, I've got right. You've seen what he's done against you, so cough up. Really, so. But no, we'll see what happens. I do think Nicholas Kuhn will be leaving. I think it's too much a coincidence that we're looking for wingers and Nicholas Kuhn's getting linked away. It's too much.
You know what I do hope before we go? I hope we get our target in before Kuhn goes.
Aye. It's being proactive, and that's the problem. And that's my big issue with just Celtic. We're not proactive enough. And I maybe come across as just moan all the time. I probably do, right? But I just think we need to be a bit proactive. We know Nicholas Kuhn's in a way. I don't think Nygren's Nicholas Kuhn's replacement. I don't think so.
No, I don't either.
I think we'll still be in the market for another wingers. Obviously, Balakwisha has been linked. I think we should stay clear of that, in my opinion. But you've got the Norwegian Orderset. I was linked, so we'll see what happens.
He's on to PSV, I believe.
Has he? So we'll see what happens. It's up to the club. They know Nicholas because probably on the out, so they should be doing their homework and doing their due diligence.
I'll be honest with you, Josh. I don't think the winger we're going to sign has been linked with us yet. Because
it just needs to be quality. They just need to do their homework and go at that. Right, what do we need? It can't be we bring in Lewis Palmer, he's terrible. We need to replace somebody like Nicholas Kuhn, no matter what you think. If you think he's down tools or whatever, he was still a quality player for us. And he's still we asked for last season a winger with consistent numbers. We got that. That's still really good numbers. So that's what it needs to be replaced by. You need to replace quality with quality. Now, can we make it better? Can we get better than Nicholas Kuhn?
We can recover Joe has been missing.
Exactly. We need, can we get better than Nicholas Kuhn? Of course we can. I think we can get a more consistent winger than Nicholas Kuhn. But I think it's important that Celtic get the right fee for him and then Celtic do the homework and get the right player in to replace him. That's just how it's working. Also, the other big link, well, not a big link, but the other link today that came out is apparently Lagerbielke might be on his way out, so it could be cutting losses with him as well. I'm
a bit sad about that, to be honest. Not because he's chanting, by the way, which I absolutely love.
He'll only ever get used once. Never forget.
No, I do think he's clearly going to go.
Yeah.
Because if you believe rumours, we're actually actively looking for a centre half. I see the Serbian boys been linked again, so you better start practicing your pronunciation, Josh. But I think for us to bring in a centre half of quality, the likes of Welsh, Lagerbielke are going to have to go.
Aye, definitely.
Because last I looked, we've got 7 centre halves. Well, that's too many.
If you think Dane Murray's probably going to leave, Welsh is probably going to leave, Naroki's probably going to leave, Lagerbielke's probably going to leave.
That only leaves you with Scales trusting.
You need to bring somebody else in there. Even if that's
only see the 4 you mentioned, even if 2 go out and loan, you're still going to need somebody else.
No, definitely. Even that's not even taken into consideration. I don't think Scales is relatively good enough. But anyway, that's another topic for another video.
We've got enough time to run up with Scales during the season.
Aye. So the other thing we released today.
That monstrosity.
Right, I was going to ask you how you felt about it, but you've just kind of told me how you felt about it.
Get it up.
That's what I'm going to do at the moment. The new kit. It's terrible.
It's bogging.
It's
It's bogging.
absolutely. I don't even. Maybe if I go to the Celtic shop and see it in the flesh,
Oh
maybe
no, that.
I would. But I am not. I would never ever pay
By
£75.
the
What
way,
is that?
have you seen the match one? Uh, uh, price
Aye,
125.
it's always like that. So the description celebrating our Irish roots. Oh, she's just.
I
No,
mean,
Adidas seem to have this template that every kit needs to be. I mean, somebody
I
is
mean,
we got is a
that's one.
Rangers fan designing kits at Adidas, man?
You can
I
hardly
mean,
see the alphabet.
it's horrendous. Well, that's probably good. That's probably the only good thing about it. But anyway,
No,
but I
but if you
mean,
actually look at it,
I
I
mean,
mean, I can only imagine what the letters at the back's going to be like because how would you be able to
I know. I
see?
don't even think. It's just, I don't even know. It's like a kid just drew a concept Celtic kit with his crayons or something, and it's.
I mean,
Nah, no, nah, I'm alright, thanks. It's not
I'll
gonna be
be,
something
I'll
I'm
be.
watching.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we do know Josh is getting it for his Christmas.
No, if I'm getting that for my Christmas, and then you can bugger off because I'll be asking for the receipt. No, no, thanks. Um, so no, but no, it's no. It's for me.
I
It's
mean, don't get me wrong, Josh. If it was cracking, I think about it.
like I'm
But
sorry, right? But the thing
no,
is, I'm gonna say something. Adidas have got the easiest job. You
how
literally
can you
just
muck up hoops?
not even the hoops. Like we've asked for like a good like tricolour kit, and there's been really good concept by the way. The goalkeeper kit looks class, but to be fair,
I've not seen it.
but they've got the easiest job, and they just continue to muck it up.
And I don't even like
Just
the
keep it simple.
second kit, to be honest.
Just keep it simple. They tried to say that's a bumblebee kit, but you can bugger off. You think that's a bumblebee kit, man? Honestly.
Well, I
Adidas
mean,
kits need investigated, man. I think generally we've got a Rangers fan. This is a joke, by the way. We've got a Rangers fan at Adidas trying to.
how can I muck up Celtic kit?
Exactly. That was a joke, by the way. I don't want to end up in Kerry fail or whatever.
No, follow. Leave it.
Um,
That's
no,
so
but
sad about.
it's just horrendous, man. It's absolutely horrendous.
I mean,
Aye, it's
I can just
terrible.
say the first time I seen it, because I knew you were going to ask me about it, I seen it before you sent the link to set up for the pod, and I just went, my God. Now, when you see a cat hanging, you think, actually, it's not as bad. That's as bad.
I mean, it's maybe when I see something in the flesh, it might look nicer, but it just looks awful. It just looks like somebody's just drew it with crayons.
It looks like a rainbow.
Aye, does it? Somebody's drawn a rainbow on a bit of paper, man. But aye, it's terrible. Adidas yet again failing another kit. It just seems a
And
regular
did you
occurrence this
know
year.
we're meant to be an elite club, and
Do you know what the thing is, right? To rub salt in it the ones I seen it, right? A few minutes after we'd had that footy headlines, like leaked the Roma kit, and it's Adidas, one of the nicest kits you're ever going to see. And I'm like, oh my, they're taking a
it's
piss.
like they're saying it's only Celtic. We'll give them in,
But then why put us in an elite club, man? I don't get that.
but an elite club in terms of sales. But
See if you get no, but that's what there you go. So see if you get us a good kit, you'll get shit ton of sales. It's common sense.
that won't sell. I'll tell you right now, that won't
No,
sell.
no, it won't. But aye, to end off, Alistair, we're gonna have a bit of a laugh. I don't, as I said, I don't talk about Rangers on this channel.
Well, you're
Is
not talking about Rangers. You're talking
um,
about the school that used to own Rangers.
aye, David Murray has come out and spoke after 14 years of silence to Ewan Cameron of all people, but
I'm not a trained journalist, so that's what I believe.
and basically has blamed Peter Lawwell for part of the failings of his companies and the Rangers in 2012, and it's that bad that even Rangers fans are even saying like, "What are you?" I mean, the guy. I watched the first part of the whole thing, and I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to get into the kind of Peter Lawwell thing of it. So Celtic chief Peter Lawwell has been accused of trying to bury Rangers as Ibrox outfit lost towards collapse. Former Parkhead chef, now chairman, has long been accused of holding an influence in Scottish football corridors of power. Well, we are one of the biggest clubs in the country, so I
Yeah,
don't.
well, would you rather somebody for Bonnyrigg Rose?
Exactly. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Celtic and Rangers have both had decent power at the SFA, but anyway, he writes Peter Lawwell was somebody I knew previously as David Murray, worked in one of his companies. He was directing Wetty Ibrox or something. For nearly 2 decades, he tried to build a seat of power. I honestly believe at the end of the time at the club, um, uh, at the club. Why did he leave the club? Anyway, we'll not get into that. He was wielding far too much influence in Scottish football. At one point, after I sold Rangers, why did you sell Rangers again? It seemed he was possibly reveling in the demise of the club. He held sway committees through friends. That sounds familiar. And always used the strength of the power base when he thought it was necessary. Of course, I had a job to do. Of course, he had a job to do for the club, and no one could argue. He did very well for much of the tenure, but but with very few influential or credible figures working to Rangers' benefit, became a pivotal figure in trying to grind them down and make them suffer. To me, it seemed the mantra was also always "Let's bury Rangers." I mean, right? I'm not going to spend ages on it
Laughable.
because it's a guy who I watched,
Like
as
to
I
be
said,
still relevant.
I and I think even Rangers fans will agree with me on this. The guy just talks shite.
I mean, the thing is, I can't get my head round, and I'm like you, I don't want to spend ages on this. But why 14 years? Why?
I
Why?
mean, because he's got a book coming out and he's got to tell all the secrets. And I watched the first part, right? So the Peter Lawwell part's not coming out, but it's been obviously all over the papers. And he was talking, Peter Lawwell buried Rangers. No, you buried Rangers. Nobody else. Peter Lawwell is, for all his flaws, I don't like the guy, right? I don't, right? I'm going to be honest with you, I don't. I think,
No,
and
he's mad,
I'm mad.
mate. You,
Aye.
you, you either like him or you don't. I
But
personally don't.
you know my opinion on Peter Lawwell, right? Everybody knows my opinion on Peter Lawwell, right? But the one thing I will not hang with Peter Lawwell at, and we've not even discussed that, is the financial, how he's built, Celtic to be a financially sustainable club, and financially we are we're the second most financially sustainable club in the UK behind 115 Charges FC, but that's
I hope you enjoyed that, Brad, if you're listening.
um, but and that's it. So Peter Lawwell's somehow to blame for having too much power in the SFA. So that's how Rangers went bust or liquidated, whatever.
I mean,
Ah,
to be honest, Peter Lawwell was chief executive
I mean,
appointed in 2004. I think Rangers were paying Stefan Klos round about the same amount of wages that Zinedine Zidane was getting at Real Madrid when he scored at Hamden.
aye.
So I think that might have destroyed your club, David. No, nobody else.
Stefan Klos was getting paid more at Rangers than he was in Dortmund at the time.
Yeah, but
I mean,
legit,
and
legit.
it's not even about what happened, right? I think. Well, I'm gonna one thing. The last thing I'm gonna focus on the thing about the power comment. The irony,
He was a player maniac.
the absolute irony on that, the whole power thing. For years, he was
Suckling lamb with
some
journalists.
the Lamb Brigade or whatever, and he was journalists didn't really, and that's probably, and I think even, what's bad with even Rangers fans are going, this guy's talking shite, and
And no disrespect to Ewan Cameron, but why is he asking Ewan Cameron to
um,
do an interview?
and the thing is, it's like, he had power over because he kept journalists quiet. Journalists never asked him a question because he was this big multi-million tycoon.
I don't want to upset David because I
Uh,
won't get
Aye,
stolen.
exactly. And then, so, and he spoke a lot about, nobody could see the financial. It's nothing to do with the financial crisis. The financial crisis just showed what you were doing, and then you went your wee pals. They didn't know what to kind of do, and that's the thing.
And the one guy, I suppose, as Celtic fans, we should feel sorry for. I always felt, this is just my opinion, that David Murray wasn't held to account and that Craig White took the fall for it.
Aye, it was the patsy, as you would call it.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what I mean. That's what I mean.
it was like he was asked as well about, well, how did you do? Like, how do you think Craig White was suitable? I did think he was suitable. Then 2 seconds later, goes like, but he wasn't suitable. No, because you were running for the hills, and I think you and Cameron said to him, "But so you're running?" He was like, "I don't run." He was like, "Well, what you doing there?" But to go out and say that Peter Lawwell had too much power and Peter Lawwell was trying to put Rangers down, well, I'm sorry, that's
Peter Lawwell's men is a thing, but see
David
if
Murray
he'd
tried to
said
put.
that about no, see if he'd said that about me, I'd be
Aye.
consulting a lawyer because that's
Um,
scandalous.
and then David Murray's also the one that was like, oh, for every five or Celtics playing, oh, that's nonsense. So I think even Rangers fans have seen this as well. The guy is just blaming everybody but himself for what happened in
And
2012.
by the way, this is coming from two people that don't particularly like Peter Lawwell, but
Exactly.
but he can be accused of a lot of things. Destroying Rangers isn't one of them.
Exactly. And the one person and even Rangers fans will tell you this as well, the one person that destroyed Rangers was David Murray. With his reckless spending, he tries blaming HMRC. No, you destroyed them with your reckless spending, and it caught up with you. So unlucky. Enjoy your book. You're a prick. I'm sorry. He is.
No,
He's an.
it's like, and if you want a clip to end the show for still game, I don't know if Josh has got it. It's like when Jack and Victor go to the boxing match, it's difficult to know who to cheer for. And it's one's David Murray and the other one's David King. Dave King.
There you go.
Love talking
Um,
about Celtic.
aye. No, but we love talking about Rangers because we're
Oh,
obsessed, man. We're obsessed. No, but we end it on that analogy. But
hey, you like that one? I can
it
tell.
was pretty good. But no, we'll end it on that. We'll be back. Hopefully a bit more regular now because I'm just trying to take a break after finishing college. And that hopefully we'll be back with more transfer news. Hopefully,
Please make it busy, Celtic.
uh,
We could be getting the content here.
exactly. So, bye. We'll be back when there's more bigger news being broken. Until then, we'll speak to you later. And hail, hail.
He'll help.